So why not come to a party with me? Why not come to this party? A five-piece band, I'll take your hand, Rose, and twirl you around.
Hi, I'm Peter Duchan.
I'm Justin Paul.
And I'm Benj Pasic.
I knew I wanted to write a musical with these guys, and they had met in college.
Versa.
So I kept coming up with various ideas for us to try to find a musical, and they had sent me, they told me they wanted something young, they wanted something American, you guys wanted something with an energy to it.
Yeah.
And I started to look through DVD catalogs and yada yada and tape everything I could on TV. And when I found Dogfight, just the two-sentence description, I thought this really could be it. And I ended up watching it, and from the minute it started, I was like, this really could be a musical, this would be appropriate for you guys, this would be fun to work on. It had a real emotional vitality that I thought was great, and I showed it to them, and before they even watched the movie, you guys looked at the back of the DVD and you were like, okay, we'll do it.
One thing we had talked about was wanting to create something that felt contemporary, and I think something that felt contemporary to us was an atypical love story. So it was still, it had the elements of a love story, but it wasn't typical at all. It was these two very opposite people who are in a rough situation and then come out of it and really learn from each other and grow because they know each other.
The basic premise was something that right away when you hear the plot, it's so emotional and heartfelt, and you feel immediately for the character so deeply that for us it resonated as something that really could lend itself to being musicalized and lend itself to creating songs for these characters. Because as soon as you hear the premise, you're like, oh, and your heart goes out for these characters, and that's a great first step.
First song that we ever wrote for the show is a song called Pretty Funny, and that was just taken, it was before we had even almost started outlining anything. It was almost like, it was sort of our way into the show, I would say, because we watched the movie, we saw that moment where Rose, the character, has come back to her room after she's gone on this first date that turned into a horrible event, and she gets back and sees all the clothes scattered across the room, and you can just see in the close-up Lily Taylor, she's having this very emotional moment, and we thought, okay, right there, that's got to be a song.
People are just cool.
We had to get the rights to do it from both the original screenwriter, and we had to get the rights from the movie studio, Warner Brothers, to be able to use the title and to be able to use the changes that were made between the screenplay and the actual finished film.
We were really lucky because it's not that well known of a movie.
But that's part of why we were attracted to the title.
Exactly. Yeah. We didn't want to do something where everybody comes in and they know exactly what to expect, or they're really upset that you cut their favorite scene.
Right.
We wanted people to experience the show and
the story for the first time.
Yeah, so we had sort of permission to make it what we wanted to make.
But it was really cool to meet the people who had created this movie and to meet Bonnie Comfort, Bob's widow, because they were so supportive of what we were doing and so understanding of the fact that it's a different thing than the movie, that the movie is the jumping off point, but that we were creating something that is a work of musical theater, and they were so amazingly generous about that.
It's a new musical theater piece, and I think that's, if there are maybe other shows that have similar themes, but you have the opportunity to do a new show, a new American musical, I think that's hopefully really exciting to people and a way to continue to introduce people, your audiences, to new material, to new writers, to new shows that are coming out of New York or wherever else the shows might come from.
It gets conversations started. I mean, when we had the show at Second Stage here in New York City, I mean, when we had audience talkbacks, it was amazing. It brings up so much for people, and you leave the theater, I think, both moved and sometimes frustrated and sometimes on edge.
People get mad at the characters.
People get mad at the characters.
They
want to talk to each other about how did I feel about this? I think we tried to create a piece that challenged the audience to really think about the events that have happened on stage and have a dialogue after. And I think that when people see the show, they want to engage in conversation. And to us, that's, I think all three of us, we really enjoy when theater does that.